Very good. I think in my old age, I've started thinking about a dream I had as a young boy, and it was to become a pilot. And when I was young, of course, I came from a family that we didn't have money to pay for the private pilot license. But now that I'm older, I'm thinking about it. And so, while researching on piloting and all that, I found that they use checklists a lot. They use it to make sure that they are doing things consistently, that they don't forget an important thing. And it is a simple way of dealing with a complex task. And that is what I would like to suggest to us. There are certain goals that we have in our club for the mentoring program. And using checklists to achieve to guide us on how to make sure that we're achieving each of these goals might be beneficial to us. And the 4 goals that I thought of, we need first of all to have people who are willing to mentor. We need to identify them and rope them in. Do we agree that is an important one? You can nod if you have your video on, or you can shake your head if you don't agree. Very good. The second one is to make sure that everybody in our club who needs a mentor has one assigned to them. The third one is to monitor the relationship to make sure that we keep them productive. We don't want to assign a mentor and then they abandon their protege. We need to make sure that they are working together. And finally, we need to recognize people who have been mentors successfully. Those are the 4 goals that we have. And let us briefly go over how we can go about achieving each one of them. The task that we first of all need to complete are, first of all, we need to do a mentor interest survey at least once a year. And the purpose of this survey is to check with our members if they are willing to become mentors and also if they need a mentor. The next one is to have a mentoring database for our club. We need to have records of everybody that has been assigned a mentor and who their mentor is. And the importance of this step is that when you're doing the handover at the end of your term as VPE or as a leader of your club, you find that it is easy for a lot of things to fall through the cracks. But if you have a document that keeps all of these records of the assignments and the progress that each of the mentors has made, then it is easier to do the transfer at the end of your term. At the end of which, every time someone completes level 2, as we spoke earlier, rope them into the mentoring program. Check with them on whether they want to be a mentor and add them to your database. And also, it is very important when identifying new mentors, as we've spoken, the preparing to mentor is very important and valuable to a new mentor. And therefore, as a VPE, you can ask them you can require them to complete that project before they can be assigned a mentee. And it's a very simple project. All they need to do is to go through the material and fill in a form. And finally, after you have, when you have a shortage of mentors in your club, you can reach out to your area director and they can reach out to the PQD, the person in the PQD department who is in charge of mentoring, which is me, and we can find you a mentor from other clubs in the district. The second goal, which is making sure that members that need a mentor have one assigned to them, is first of all, pair the willing mentees with the proteges and use a mentor assignment notice and a protege assignment notice. All of these resources are going to be provided as I am going through them. And the importance of using the notice is that it enhances the commitment and signals that this is a serious thing that you are getting into. When you send a text message, sometimes it is not taken very seriously. But when you have a formal form that has been created and for doing the assignment, people know that they are getting into something serious. Then the next thing is ensure mentors conduct orientation and you provide them with the orientation presentation and also the mentor kit that DTM Gladys had created. And this is going to guide them on what they need to cover for those discussions. And finally, ensure mentors and proteges complete the protege success plan and the protege self-assessment in the mentoring project. We've seen that these are very important in helping them chart their path. And therefore, as a VPE and as a leader of your club, you can request that every mentor goes through these processes. The next goal is we need to ensure that the mentoring is effective. And for this one, we usually leave the mentors to decide when they are going to meet with their proteges, and it is easy for people to keep procrastinating and they never meet. We can go about overcoming this challenge by setting some time, let's say 15 minutes before the start of their meeting. You can create breakout rooms for mentors and mentees to go into the breakout room and have discussions about their mentoring relationships. That is going to ensure that mentors and mentees are actually taking time to meet with each other. The Pathways Mentor Program has got assessments and evaluations that mentors can evaluate the mentees and mentees evaluate the mentors. And these are very important in making sure that the relationship is productive. And whenever a protege is not clicking well with their mentor, you can go about reassigning them with someone else. If you assign a mentor, if a mentor is taking a protege through mentoring for several months, you can request a monthly update from the mentor on the progress of their relationship. Finally, you need to reassign mentors and proteges whenever it's necessary. Whenever a mentor is not responsive to the mentee protege, make sure that you do a reassignment as quickly as possible, and vice versa. The final goal, which is recognizing mentors. After a protege completes a level, you can, before you give the award to the protege at the end of the meeting during the business section, you as a president can ask the mentor to say a few words about the progress that the mentee has made so far. That is one way you can recognize them. You can also give the mentors a certificate whenever a protege completes a level. And if your club budget allows for it, you can buy a mentor pin from the Toastmasters website. These are a list of all the resources that I have gone through, and I believe they have been shared in the chat. By developing this formal approach to how you're going to be mentoring people in your club, it's going to, first of all, it's going to make it more consistent. Second, it's going to make the time commitment less daunting to the mentors. And also it's going to make those relationships more productive so that you won't hear of situations where mentors are not responding to their mentees and mentees are not responding to their mentors, because you're providing time for them to speak during the meeting. And when you recognize the mentors, it keeps them motivated. As adults, we usually forget that we need a lot of motivations. We need shiny things that can show that we have done, we have achieved stuff, and therefore giving them these shiny things and certificates is going to keep people engaged in the mentoring program. Finally, I want to talk about the support that you can expect from the district. And the first one is for those clubs that are not able to provide the orientation for the new members. We are going to be doing a monthly new member orientation, and we are going to take them through the process, the club meeting roles, how to get onto pathways and also introducing them to the leadership roles at Toastmasters. And this is a supplementary training. Ideally, it needs to be done by the mentors at your club. However, when you find that this is not being done effectively, we can provide you with that help. And also monthly introduction to the Pathways Mentoring Program. For anybody who has completed level 2, you can send them to the PQD. We are also going to be supporting members who are undertaking the Pathways Mentoring Program. It does have some challenges for someone who wants to complete it. And people who have gone through the program can guide them on how to complete it effectively. Also providing tip sessions on mentoring. Whenever you require one, please make a request. Recognizing of members that have completed the Pathways Mentoring Program in the district newsletter. There is one that is coming out towards the September, and everybody who has completed that program in the last 3 months is going to be recognized. And finally, sourcing for members, for mentors for clubs that have a deficit. As we spoke about earlier, there are times when you're doing the assignments and you find that you don't have enough mentors, or there are skills that your members need and you don't have someone who can help them with that skill. You can also reach out to me through your area director, and we are going to find someone to help you with that. Therefore, in conclusion, I hope you've come to understand the importance of the Pathways Mentoring Program. It does have a lot of benefits, and all of us who are in this meeting and have not gone through this program need to get onto it as soon as possible. And we need to encourage our members to go through it, because that is the only way that we are going to make our mentors, properly train our mentors and give them the tools to be effective. And we also learned about how as VPEs and leaders and club leaders and district leaders, we can create robust mentoring programs in our clubs, just using simple checklists that make sure that we are covering all our bases and in mentoring. And finally, this is the support that you can expect from the district. Please make sure that you take full advantage of it over the next couple of months. Let me take a few minutes to answer any questions that are in the chat. I see one question. I didn't cover the question that is being asked, but how often should a mentor and mentee meet? Maybe we can have a few responses from the group. Anybody has any idea? How often should you meet with your mentee? How often do you meet with your mentee? Maybe that is a better question. For those of us who are mentoring people, tell me.
I believe ideally it's all about you setting the time that you want to meet. You can say, let's meet like 2 times in a week or 2 times in a month, depending on how you feel that you want to meet, depending even on the needs of the mentee.
Depending on the needs of the mentee. Any other suggestion? Thank you very much. Depending on the needs of the mentee. Any other?
2 hours, like 2 hours in a month that you can split into 30-minute segments, whatever it is that you agree. And so, and also you need to agree what forum works best. So is it WhatsApp? Is it a face-to-face? Is it Zoom? Whatever is convenient for you and the mentee. But ideally 2 hours in a month, split up.
Thank you very much, Division Director. Terry, that is, yes, Connie?
Yeah, I would say that for the very first meeting, I always recommend a face-to-face meeting that may last up to 2 hours, which is when you are setting out your goals. And while you're setting out your goals, you can agree how often you will meet. So that, I think, if you say you will meet monthly to follow up, so I think that works for me.
Thank you very much. I think those are very good answers. First of all, definitely that first meeting needs to be a long one, because there's a lot that you need to cover, and And as much as possible, it needs to be face-to-face for creating that rapport. And then you can talk about how often you're going to meet, but it is recommended. And as VPEs, whenever you are making the assignment, you need to recommend this, that the kind of commitment that they need to make is at least 2 hours per month. That is the one that is recommended. I can't remember in which of the resources, whether it was the one for that Joshua took us through or in Pathways Mentoring, but 2 hours is the recommended amount of time. We are going to be publicizing those trainings and introductions that the district is going to be doing to give you enough notice before, so that you can invite your members. That is to answer Kathy Coit's question. Do we have any other questions before I hand over back to the, yes, we have a question from the CGD.
Yes, Robert, thank you for sharing that's such meticulous information, and it's useful information. I've noted that you plan to have a monthly orientation for Pathways, especially to complement what is already going on in the clubs. I want to interest you in maybe taking a continuous 5 to 7 minute slots in the Karibuni cocktail, because the Karibuni cocktail is, we put it together just to say, hey, Karibuni, thank you for joining the district. But I think what you have will now add more value to those new members when they start to realize how they can take the Toastmasters journey. You could do something like a teaser and now direct them to where they can get more resources and maybe more elaborate trainings. I think that's something I'd like to have you also come in, so that you can bring in more value to our new members. Back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that invitation, and I accept it with both hands and without any kind of unwillingness in my hand. Definitely, I'm going to plug in to the Karibuni cocktail. Thank you very much, leaders, for giving me your time. I hope it has been, I've given you some benefit, and back to you.